Hi guys, I hope you can hear me. Welcome to Trier. I'm taking some cover still. It's raining, so not much of a sunset, not much of a blue hour, but still nice lighting, so should be nice for some pictures. So I start as soon as we hear our church bells with the official tour. We are looking at our gate and at the back of our tourist information here. And we are going to check out our new city model. They just sent us an email that they placed it here a few days ago, so not sure how it looks like. And I can hear the church bells, so it's 6 o'clock my time. Welcome to Trier. Let me say hi. Hang on. So hi, that's me, Juliane, your guide for Trier and Luxembourg. And we are in Trier today, Germany's oldest town. Yeah, you see, I'm standing here under a nice archway, but let's give you a much more interesting picture here. Our black gate. Oh, and if you like the video, please go to my YouTube channel, click on like, click on subscribe. And I know I forgot to add my buy me a coffee details to this one. If you want to support me, you can find it on my guide profile. So, hi everybody. We are standing here in what we call Brunnenhof in German, meaning courtyard for a fountain. Well, the fountain isn't here any longer. This building is our city museum. Really nice. Next to it, our black gate. Here our tourist information. And in summer times we have nice events here, concerts, theater. I wanted to show you this. I explain more about it a little bit later, but I wasn't sure if they close it off or not. So it was a monastery in former times, and why, that's something for later. But sometimes they close it off in the evenings here, so I used my chance to give you a nice overview. And our city gate, well, the only one we still have. We had 4 like this. It's from Roman times. This dark thing down here is our new city model. It should show you our town when there are no people here any longer, so nature takes it back. That was the email we got. I have to check it out more in detail myself. Just seen it for the first time. We are standing here. That's our black gate. But I love this place, so that's why I decided let's start here today. And in a few weeks we will have some really nice trees here, magnolia trees. Usually is the prettiest one in Trier, this one. And let's see, we might see one of my colleagues. It's the time when they do their tour, and he's dressed up as a guide and as a guard from, I guess he is 19th century. So we are going to see the night watch maybe. Yeah, he's starting here, so we are looking at our gate, and before he comes to the gate, let me show you a few details. So they started to build it in the year 170, And you can't really see the stones here, so not really, because some of them have letters carved inside, but it's a little bit too dark to see them. So it took the Romans 2 years to build this building. They used local sandstone. And why am I showing you a hole here? Well, the Romans didn't use mortar to fix those huge stones. They used iron staples, and in later times people started to steal those iron. But first, let's move into this direction. I want to give you the gate as a whole gate first. Yeah, and why did the Romans build it? They needed a city wall. We've been founded in 17 BC, and we became the residence of the emperors during the 3rd century, which means they needed city walls. They needed everything a town needed. So, and as part of the city wall, they added 4 huge gates. We only got 1 left, and let me turn you around. Yeah, you can still see it. So they decided, let's build a huge wall, 6.5 kilometers long, and let's build 4 huge gates. And I mean, just for defense purpose, half the size would have been enough. Honestly, you don't need such a huge gate. But they did build it so tall, just to impress people as well. It was like, well, if they have such huge gates, they must be powerful. They must have a lot of money, they must be strong. Maybe it's better to attack the next town, not this one. Yeah, today it's called Black Gate, Porta Nigra. Trying not to include people doing a couple shot in front of it, so that's why you are not seeing everything at the moment. Yeah, the Romans didn't call it Black Gate. They called it Mars Gate, after the Romans god Mars. So, and why didn't they call it Black Gate? Well, it wasn't black during Roman times. It was built from light sandstone, so it looked more or less white. It got dark over the centuries, and it got dark because the stone contains manganese. That's what made this gate here extremely dark. And no, we are not cleaning it. We had to change the name, and today our scientists believe the black stuff on it is also kind of protection today. So if you clean it, it might be a bad idea. They always repair it. So that's why part of it is blocked off at the moment. So on top, part of our 2nd floor is blocked off, and our 3rd floor at the moment. And they try to keep it in good shape, and it's the best preserved gate north of the Alps. So how did they manage to get the stones up? Well, they had slaves. Lots of slaves, and a slave could have been everybody. So if the Romans conquered you, you were a slave. If your mom was a slave, you were born a slave. Or if you were really unlucky, you lost money and you had to sell yourself. And sometimes little kids even were put up as slaves. The head of the family, he had to accept a newborn baby into the family in Roman times. So when a baby was born, they put it on the ground, and if the head of the family picked the baby up, everything okay, it's a member of the family. If not, they got chucked out like we do chuck out rubbish today. So really sad. Sometimes those babies were lucky and they were found by people who couldn't have children. Sometimes slave traders took them and sold them as slaves. And that's why they managed to finish this building in 2 years. You had enough slaves, and a slave was a tool, not a human being. And they used huge cranes to lift those stones up. And they worked with kind of a hamster wheel. And they were able to lift up stones that weighed up to 1 ton. So really heavy. And before we go closer, you can finally see our Roman town. It's a bit flooded, but still. So we are on the left, bringing my umbrella in. We are here. Our Roman bridge is down here. This was our main entrance. And you see our town looks like a chessboard. So really the typical Roman town. On top we had a circus, we had an amphitheater, we had 3 Roman baths, we had a palace, lots of place for people to live, and some empty spaces for gardens and stuff like this. So how many people did we have here? Well, about 60,000 during Roman times, which means we were bigger than London or Cologne, but only during Roman times. Today we got about 115,000 people. And in Roman times you would have had arcades here with little shops. You could buy some souvenirs, you could buy something to eat, to drink. So really a nice place to be, and that's why we still got those pillars here. Not all of them are originals, but I mean it's just to show how it looked like during Roman times. And we are standing inside our Roman town, and where you can see this little lantern standing and the other group standing, that's outside of our town. So if you wanted to come inside, you had to pass our guards here. And if you were a farmer, somebody who came in to sell things, you were allowed inside. But if you were a foreign army, you were not allowed inside. And as a foreign army, you tried to attack. So we had our guards walking on our walkways on the 1st and 2nd floor, and they checked who's coming. It was like, okay, yeah, lots of farmers coming, they can go inside. Or, well, be careful guys, foreign army is coming. And when the foreign army came, they locked wooden doors on this side, and on the other side we had an iron portcullis. So we were really mean. We let them inside into our inner courtyard and dropped our gate on the other side. And from above, well, our guards could actually shoot them, pour hot oil down, hot water, stones, whatever mean things we had. So it was quite a clever idea to defend something, and they still used this principle later for castles. So it was always we sent those people inside that we don't need, and it was Well, either whoever attacks has more people or whoever defends has more arrows. So quite a clever idea. And if you think, well, let's sneak in, didn't work. Because the towers on this side, on the outer side, they are half round, meaning you can't hide. So if you try to sneak in here, the guard from the other side, from the other tower would see you. And the same on the other side. So, and why do we still have this gate? Well, we used our other gates as building materials when the Romans left. Our emperor left first, his military left, upper class followed the emperor. And what I wanted to show you is not this. They're restoring it, so you have to believe me. Yeah, you can still see a little bit of the decoration up here. Let me try this side. So when the emperor left, our upper class followed, soldiers followed, and when the Franks came at the beginning of the 5th century, we had 4 nice gates but no guards. So they just came in, we used it as building materials, and around the year 1020-25 a Greek monk named Simeon came. He lived in the Holy Land and his monastery needed money. He was a hermit, but he could speak languages. So now you can't see the decorations. So this Simeon, he was sent to Normandy because the Duke of Normandy had promised his monastery a lot of money. Well, he had to walk. He walked about 30 kilometers per day, not more. And when he arrived in Normandy, the Duke had died, and the new Duke told him, sorry, you don't get money. So he didn't go back to his monastery, but he came to Trier, and he took our bishop to the Holy Land as a travel guide. When they came back 5 years later, he got something nice. I mean, I would have asked our bishop, please give me money, give me land, a nice house, some nice horses, lots of gold. Simeon wanted to be a hermit, and he wanted to get a cell in our old gate. So I'm turning you around quite soon. Want to be able to show you where he was walled in. So turning you around, Simeon was walled in on the right hand side in the tower. So more or less on the right hand side here. And we walled him in, gave him food via a little basket, water as well. Everything else went out the same way. Must have smelled not so nice. And he stayed here for 5 years in this old cold building just to pray. People on the one hand side loved him. They believed he was a saint even when he was alive. But on the other hand, when it rained a lot and our town got flooded, they wanted to kill him, because the stranger must have made all the rain. Our bishop stopped the people, so they didn't kill him. And after 5 years he died, and we buried him inside. And soon we had miracles happening. Stuff like the blind can see again, people who can't walk can walk again, things like that. So our bishop decided, well, let's make him a saint. So he got canonized quite soon, and now we had a saint inside, meaning you can't use this for building materials any longer. And our bishop decided, let's transform it into a church. So he added a staircase from the outside. He put in some floors, so we had 2 churches, one on the first floor, one on the second floor. And he also added a cloister and a monastery next door. That's where we started. So that's why we got this pretty courtyard today. So let's just go to this side. We've seen the courtyard. Obviously our church is not here any longer. The only thing we still have left from our church is this part on the right hand side, our apse. So that's 12th century. And why do we still have it? We don't know. When they removed the church, they were either not sure if it belonged to it or if they needed it to stabilize the building. And who destroyed this church and brought our gate back? Well, around 1800, somebody called Napoleon came, and he decided lots of churches, monasteries need to go, and he wanted this building back. So thanks to Napoleon, we got our gate back. You will get a nice view from the other side as well. But before we go, let me show you something else around here. During the 19th century, we not only had Napoleon, we also had Karl Marx in Trier. The place where he was born is a museum, but the place where he grew up and could see our old gate every day is today's Euroshop. So the symbol of capitalism is the place where Karl Marx grew up. During his time it was really an expensive place, one of the best houses in town. His family was quite rich, but our town was quite poor. Population was down to 8,000 people and about 80% were poor. So 8 to 10,000 people and 80% poor, which is quite a lot. So imagine Karl Marx walking towards our market church, seeing our gate every morning. And you get a view from this side and from the other side. Those are the typical views you get. And that's more or less the view I used on Together Virtually here. I just took a picture during Christmas time, so imagine a huge Christmas tree here. And I'm taking you now to our official picture spot for our gate. Yep, we got an official picture and selfie spot for it. That's a place our town thought would be the best. And in summer times we will have our palm trees out, so you can get a nice picture with yourself and our palm trees. And here some nicer buildings. Oh, and this building where this kebab is was offered for about 3 to 4 million to buy just a few weeks ago. And rent-wise, smaller shops here, like our donut shops, they pay €5,500 rent per month, and that's why they can't continue their business, sadly. So it's one of the most expensive streets in town. And here on our flag, that's St. Peter, our patron saint. He doesn't want to show himself. But I can't stand on the street. It's A, buses, and B, sometimes in the evening, cars who want to pose and drive too fast. And I don't want to kill myself here. So, and we are now outside of our Roman town, more or less. Now we are still on our city wall, but now we are outside. And you see a little bit of the decoration of our church on this side. And our official spot will be here. You will also get a last view quite soon from the other side, because I need to go into this direction. We are having the meeting of our guide association in half an hour, and it's in Trier North today. So that's our official photo point, and as you can see, for YouTube it's not exactly working, so I'm not sure. Nope. But I will go to the other side, and I have no idea why it's not lit up from this side. It's usually lit up from both sides. So, no idea why they didn't do it today. And here you have a modern hotel. Yeah. They did tear down a really lovely old building for it. And if you get a room here, if you look at our Porta Nigra, you have a nice view, but it's quite loud because it's our main street around our city center. And during medieval times, this was also our city wall on this side. So this part of town only developed during the 19th century, end of 19th century. And it developed when the Prussians abolished a tax on meat and grain, because they used the city wall to collect taxes. You will get a nicer view quite soon, but from the other side. Hang on. So you see our museum, the old monastery they built during the 11th century, and our gate with a lot of traffic here. So I hope you enjoyed it. We will be going to Luxembourg next week to Schengen, and we will be back in Trier, I believe, next week Sunday, so not this Sunday, but Sunday in a week, or Monday. I have to check. Then I'm going to show you modern Trier. I'm going to add a few more tours. I just have to schedule and have to see when I can do it. Oh, and we are going to look for street art, plus a few new things. And in spring I'm going to take you to our Saar province, to their most famous viewpoint. Nice walk through the woods and really a pretty view. So thanks for coming. Check out my other tours, check out my colleagues. We try to give you nice tours, try to make this work again. So thanks, and please like it on YouTube, like my channel on YouTube, subscribe to it, and if you want to support me, you can find the information on my guide profile here on TV. So thanks and bye guys.